All right, good morning, everyone. 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins here. How are you guys doing on our Monday? Turn this down a little bit here. See your questions over there. Marcia, how are you? Charles? Oh, Charlene, good to see you. Gary, good to see you there. All right, let's start talking about it, guys. We got a couple different things going on today. First off, we have a small, well, I shouldn't say small, but we've got a weak area of low pressure trying to develop in the Atlantic. 10% chance, not a big deal, but we'll talk about that. Rain chance is actually increasing a little bit in the Tampa area today, including the coast, although I think the best chance for rain is going to be inland. And then you've got drier and cooler air getting here, a little bit drier, a little bit cooler by this weekend, but that's Memorial Day weekend, so it's actually looking pretty good as far as the outdoor plans go. All right, so let's get you started now. Those are the headlines. Here is the tropical update, and you can see it clearly. This is the area that we're watching here. Nothing big going on here, guys. Don't expect much. There's a ton of shear up in this area right in here. The lows center and somewhere in here, at least it's trying to. It's just not organized. You see Bermuda right here. It's right where the M is, basically, in Bermuda. This thing's going to come up and go just to the west of Bermuda. So they've already seen some rain from it, if you will. And this thing, as it kind of spins and goes up, will be moving right to the west of them. So something for them to watch. Here's the latest from the Hurricane Center. They say a 10% chance for development. Now notice that's for the next 2 days. That's normal, right? This is a 10% chance for development for the next 7 days. That's new. They have updated this year. That used to be the forecast going out for 5 days. Now it goes out for 7 days. And all this is kind of a heads up. They shade these areas of concern. Say, for instance, there'd be a wave coming off of Africa. They'd hatch a little area, somewhere in this area right in here, right? Obviously nothing going on right now there, so they're not worried about it. But you can see where they've got the yellow here, and that's the area of low pressure. So what's going on there? Well, there's a ton of shear around, and you can see that here. This is all real high shear over Texas, across the Gulf towards us. There's a little bit of a hole here that this is in, but still not much for that it can really develop. It's part of a deep trough that's sitting here, and that's kind of not the basis of tropical storms. Generally, you have high pressure aloft over top of it, clockwise motion there, and you have lighter winds down at the top, but you certainly don't have a lot of shear. And as this moves off to the north, this shear here is going to get in on it. Plus, there's some dry air in the mix as well too. There's not a lot, but you can see this area. Well, here's our wave. You can see a little bit of dry air in there. There's also more coming in here. So, it's just not a very good environment, and that's why they're saying only 10% chance. This is the GFS model, and look, if anything is going to blow it up, it would be the GFS model, and it's not doing too much with it right now. You can see center somewhere in here. It does look like it tries to organize, and when it gains further latitude, there's more what's called Coriolis effect, and so you do see these things tighten up a little bit and get a little bit more wind and a little bit more organized. I wouldn't be surprised. That little black dot in the middle is Bermuda. All right, so you can see some heavy rain coming tonight, tomorrow. This is tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 10 p.m. And just some gusty squalls coming through. Nothing major, I don't think, with that. I wanted to show you this because this kind of hung out here and is going to the north. And this is Thursday, all right? And we're going to be watching right over top of us for another weak area of low develop. This will be an upper level low to get started. But watch what it does here off of the Florida coast. You see that? It's trying to close off another low. And if you notice last weekend, well, Friday, we had that low moving up through the Carolinas, especially North Carolina. I think you're going to do something similar. And unfortunately, it looks like that's going to happen. If you look at this, that's Saturday morning of Memorial Day weekend for the folks in the Carolinas, especially North Carolina, right? Not a good Saturday up there. Sunday, I think it will gradually be clearing out. But 2 out of 3 days, I guess, isn't bad for the folks in the Carolinas. For us here, the way that this would affect us, basically, is that, let me come back. Sorry. Come back over to here. The way that it would affect us is that what we're going to end up seeing is the flow coming back around that like this. And that brings in some drier air. So you can see the moisture trying to hang out here. But if you notice closely on the Tampa area, it's generally over on the East Coast that we're going to see the best chance for rain through the weekend. There'll be a couple showers around, but I took rain chance way down starting Friday, but especially Saturday, Sunday, and Monday coming up. So, all right, that's the tropics. Let's talk local weather and our rain chances. Kind of coming into a time period where we're going to see increased rain as we get going through the next 3 to 4 days. And then again, that drier air on the backside of that other low that hasn't even developed yet, if it happens, will come in here. Still pretty good moisture right now. We desperately need the rain. This gets updated every Thursday, and the latest update includes all of Hillsborough. Eastern Hillsborough wasn't quite in the extreme range, but now it is. Manatee, most of Sarasota is, parts of Hardee and DeSoto County. Now we've had some decent rains at times, deep inland locations, Eastern Polk, Highlands County. So you're in a moderate drought, but certainly it's really bad when you get right here along the coast. We have not seen much rain at all. And in fact, if you notice on my Twitter or even on my Facebook page, I just sent out a graphic from the Weather Service here in Tampa. Many areas here along the coast, west of I-75, are having the driest start to the year on record. And if it's not the driest in those locations, it's easily top 5 driest. So this is definitely dry for us. Now, where will the rain go? Now, this is now. We don't have much. There you go. That's around noon today. So you see the convergence right here along the coast. This is the best chance for Pinellas, Western Pasco, Western Manatee to see any rain. Northwest Hillsborough through about 12 to 12:30. This is 4:30, and almost everything is, there's I-75 there. Everything is well inland by 4:30 this afternoon. Now, some of these, number one, will be a little bit on the stronger side. We could see some gusty winds, 40, 50 mile per hour winds, and some small hail is actually possible. The air up above us is pretty cold today. So it's something that we want to keep an eye on. Let me back up a little bit. Watch where they are here. This is 4:30. Watch how some of them build back to Eastern Hillsborough, back towards Tampa, trying to, but most of it just falls apart through 6, 7 o'clock tonight. All right. Now, tomorrow, very similar setup. We've got what's happening is there's actually a stalled frontal boundary sitting up here in the northern part of the state. And because it's closer to us, it'll give us some decent rain chances. But by far, Jacksonville, the north, Tallahassee, they're going to get a lot of rain on, especially the Jacksonville area. This is the Tampa area for tomorrow at lunchtime. See the difference? Today it was forecasting quite a bit of rain filling in here. Tomorrow's a little less. Same thing, it all drifts inland, and then a couple of them come back towards the coast in the evening hours. Wednesday, same setup, same result, I think. Really, it's not a big difference between either day. I do think today probably has the better chance for rain. But, you know, having said that, folks along the coast, it's just not a good chance. All right, here's the threat for severe weather. So it's a small one, but you can see this green area in here. That's where we expect, number one, most of the storms to be over here anyways. But they'll also get a little bit taller over here. There's a 1 out of a 5 chance. It's called a marginal chance of seeing severe weather. And the main threat, if you break this down individually for today, you can see it's right here in the middle. It's mainly for gusty winds, about a 5% chance that we get some strong storms. Now, I will throw in some hail. Small hail is possible just because of that cold air that's aloft, and it's pretty dry too, so that can kind of create even colder temperatures and make a little bit of hail, but not a major widespread severe weather event. I'm not expecting that here for us. So there's the planner, and the planner looks a little funky because here you go. You've got 1 to 2 o'clock in the Tampa area with a pretty decent chance for rain, and after that it drops off. This 40% at 6 p.m. is just too high for me. 20% in the evening, yeah, I'll go for that. Hey, it will help to keep us a little bit cooler, that's for sure. There is the forecast for rainfall over the next 5 days, and we just don't, and the coast here is not seeing a lot. Look at Georgia, North Florida, Jacksonville. Yeah, they could see quite a bit, 4, 5, 6 inches of rainfall. Here locally, maybe a 1/4 inch in some spots along the coast. It's just not a lot. But you see, look how much it ramps up. Eastern Polk County could be seeing 3 to 5 inches of rainfall, just because some of the downpours will be on the heavier side. But that's through this work week for the most part. So remember, this was the hard-hit area for drought. It's going to stay that way, it looks like, for this week. Here's the coverage, what it looks like. That's according to the European model. And again, same setup, same deal. You can see that, you know, there's some gray spots in here. That means not much rain at all. A little bit more tomorrow. Same setup for Wednesday. Thursday kind of thinning out altogether. And then look at Friday. Drier air comes back in and really cuts the rain chances off. So here's what that looks like. This is the precipitable water. It's the amount of moisture in the atmosphere from the ground up. And you really, for rainy season purposes, you really want this to be over 1.7 inches in this wet range here. And this stuff can help. This darker green is what you're wanting, and even more, actually. This is dry air. This is Wednesday. Watch what happens Wednesday night into Thursday. See this? You get the idea of lows forming here? And that low is going to take off and go to the northeast. And look at all the dry air that's going to wrap in behind it. So let's go out. This is Friday. There's the low forming. See it right there? And then look at all the dry air that's pulling it back behind it. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Now, we're in a drought. We need the rain. That's not good news. That, however, is Memorial Day weekend. Pretty good news for outdoor plans, as it looks like it's going to basically stay dry. There'll be 1 or 2 showers and storms around, but we're not going to see a whole lot. So good news as far as that's concerned. That's what we're going to have to take. All right, wrap this up here, guys. Here is a look at the forecast for temperatures through the end of the month, beginning of June. All right, so that's basically late next week. A little bit cooler than average. We should be about 88, 89 this time of year here in the southeast. But guess what? I mean, obviously, that's because of all the rain that we're going to see, or they're going to see. Let's put it that way. And then if you look at precip, a little bit above average for the Carolinas. That basically includes that low trying to form here and then kind of come up across the Carolinas coastline as well. So, yeah, it looks a little bit dry. It's actually going to be cooler than normal. In fact, let me go back. In parts of the Mid-Atlantic, there's a little bit of a trough sitting there, right? But you can see better rain chances back out west, which is actually good news. I mean, those reservoirs out west, California, Nevada, they've really filled up and getting into a hot season out there. So certainly want to keep some rain going if they can. All right, there's our 7-day forecast. Rain chance, 50% today, 40 to 50 tomorrow, 40% on Wednesday, and then gradually coming down Thursday, Friday. Again, this weekend, there'll be a stray pop-up shower or storm. I'm not concerned about any of it at this particular point for outdoor plans, so looking good. Just keep in mind, if you are out and about, you see a storm brewing, just remember to keep an eye out for the lightning that's coming around. All right, let me check, see if anybody's got any questions here. I'm actually looking at the 10 Tampa Bay one. Guys, I think that's it. We got the show coming up. Is the red tide gone? Betty, good question. Not completely, but for the most part, most of the beaches around here are in what's called the background range, which means they take water samples all the time and they've seen small amounts, but it's in the background and it's nothing that's going to cause any issue. So that's good news. Great news, actually. Charlene, no problem. Hope you're having a great one. Okay, guys, that's it. Have a good Monday afternoon. Of course, we'll be here on the noon show at 12 today. Don't forget, 10 Tampa Bay starts at 5 o'clock this afternoon to wrap up all the news of the day. We'll have the latest forecast for you. Models will come in throughout the day. I don't think they'll change too much as far as coverage of rain across the area. But again, I wish I could put more back towards the coast. It just doesn't look like that's going to happen. All right, guys, have a good one.